All right. Good morning. Welcome to 5 Minutes More with Pastor. It is Saturday, October 3rd. Weather report, same as past couple days. Foggy. It usually breaks up midday and get a little sun, although there's some smoke that hangs around, but not too awful bad. But I hope you're enjoying this Saturday morning, wherever you might be, and hope I can be an encouragement to you. Today's coffee report, it is not so much about the mug, but it's what's in the cup. I'm drinking some Woods coffee. Woods Coffee makes their coffee in Washington. It was a gift from the visiting pastor and his wife. They came over to our house for dinner last night and dropped it off. It is a medium roast coffee for those of you that care, with hints of almond, mild fruit, and cocoa. It's good. I'm enjoying it. It's the first time I've had it. But I want to share a really quick thought with you from Psalm 133. Very first verse. I love this verse. It's something I really do. I try to live out, try to implement in our ministry and in our church, and try to encourage people in. Verse 131 and verse 1 says this: Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Behold, notice these two words, how good and how pleasant it is. Good and pleasant for the brethren to dwell together in unity. There aren't a whole lot of things in life that are good for us and that are also pleasant. There are many things that we know are good for us, and there are many things that we know are pleasant. But a lot of times they don't cross over. An hour of aerobic exercise is good for us, but it's rarely pleasant. Cutting out uh, more salt or sugar or fat from your diet is good for you, but it's not really pleasant. On the flip side, you know, going and crushing a gallon of your favorite ice cream, or whatever your favorite dessert might be, boy, that can be pleasant, but it's typically not very good for you. And so when you find something that is both good and pleasant, and that's pretty awesome. And David here has found one. He said is both good and pleasant. Unity and harmony among God's people is good. That's good. And it's also pleasant. Our faith is not just to be an intellectual faith, an internal faith. So many people say, "Oh, it's just my faith is just private," and it's personal. But it shouldn't be private, you alone. It's meant to be authentically lived out in a community with other believers. God has created all of us to be highly relational. And I know some people are much more outgoing, and there's some people that are much more private. But it is good. The Bible says it's good and pleasant for us to be together and to be unified, to dwell together in unity. That doesn't mean that the church is always going to be, one big happy family. You've probably heard it said below. I can't remember the exact way it goes. I think to dwell above with saints we love, oh, that will be glory. To dwell below with saints we know, now that's a different story. Certainly we look forward to heaven and being with all the other believers worshiping the Lord. To dwell above with saints we love, or to dwell above with saints we love, all that will be glory. To dwell below with saints we know, now that's a different story. David, who's the author of this psalm, understood the difficulties sometimes of bringing groups of people together. And if you're on Facebook, sorry, my camera's bouncing around here, not wanting to stay put. See what I can do. He knew what that was like, because he more really, other than Moses, David did more to bring the 12 tribes of Israel together. And so when he did that, there were even disagreements among them. There's a saying out there, it's been attributed to a bunch of different people, but it says this, and I've used this in our life and ministry, and I encourage you to as well. In essentials, unity. In non essentials, liberty. In all things, charity. I think our world and our country in days like this would be a much better place if people lived according to that. In essentials, unity. In non essentials, In non-essentials, liberty, but in all things, charity. Do you know that it's possible? This is kind of crazy. It's possible to use a large tempered glass laboratory beaker. I'm talking about those beakers that they use in a lab. If it's well made and tempered, you can actually use the bottom rim of that tempered glass to hammer a nail into wood. However, if you were to take just a little ball bearing the size of a pea and you were to drop it inside that tempered glass beaker, and it were to hit the bottom, even though it's small and fairly light, and it were to hit the bottom, it would shatter that entire beaker. Um, the way that the arc of the glass is tempered well enough that these external blows uh, on the nail won't break it, but just a little friction on the inside, just a little thing on the inside can shatter it from within. Churches are very similar. When we are united together and tempered with love, forces from the outside that try to shatter us, that try to shatter that unity, that's try to scatter the people like broken glass, that can't happen. But oftentimes it's a small force on the inside that can break that can shatter that unity. You know, I think it's important for each and every single one of us to do our part the best we can to maintain the unity of believers. Say, Pastor, how do I do that? Well, again, in essentials, unity. In non-essentials, liberty. Give give people some rope. But in all things, charity. What charity includes: being kind, being forgiving, being understanding. In case you want to know more about love, go read 1 Corinthians 13 and be reminded it thinketh no evil. It gives the benefit of the doubt. I mean, there's so many things that love does that in today's culture, many people don't want to give to each other. The Bible says this: Behold, how good and pleasant it is for the brethren to dwell together in unity. You know what? I hope you find some place tomorrow where you can worship together in unity. And as you look around and as you are participating in that worship service, I hope you'll think to yourself, boy, this is good and this is pleasant. These people are good and they're pleasant. And I'm thankful for them. I think it'll do our hearts and our lives just real good, just really goodness to our lives. It is good and it is pleasant. And I hope you get to enjoy that tomorrow and throughout your life. I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you guys later.